Chris, here we are, another finals day. What's this, your 11th now, is it?
Yeah, we were chatting about it on the bus after the Durham game. 11 quarterfinals, 11 wins, and here we find ourselves at another finals day.
You've had mixed results. Obviously, the 3 victories will be standout highlights in your career, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we were chatting the 11 finals day, 3 wins and 8 losses in the semi-final, which is crazy, really, that we haven't actually got to a final. Or every time we have got to a final, we've won. And let's hope that pattern plays out on Saturday.
What's that like, mentally to prepare for as a player? Because you know that the day could end in glory, but equally you could be home before it's even got going.
Yeah, absolutely. We played at 10:30, we played at 2:30, we've lost semi-finals at both times. I think the good thing about Saturday is we are the 2:30 start. So obviously whatever happens come the end of that game, it's nearer the end of the day. But when you do finish at sort of 1 o'clock, having lost that first semi-final, you are either watching the rest of the teams go on to lift the trophy, or you are twiddling your fingers thinking what we're going to do for the rest of the day.
And that trophy is something that you've lifted 3 times. You'd take me back to those days, the most recent ones, say, to kind of hark back to what must have been an incredible occasion.
Yeah, they are absolutely the best days on the calendar. I think you set out at the start of the year to, of course, win the championship, but also set out to get to finals day. And then when you lift the trophy at the end, it's a very satisfying feeling. And I think two of those 3 finals that we have won have actually come down to the last ball and might even have been ties. So we like to put on a crazy game of cricket. Hopefully it's not quite as crazy at the weekend, but hopefully we can definitely get to the final.
And knowing the ingredients that are needed to lift the trophy, how close do you feel this current crop is to doing the same?
Yeah, slightly different this year. There's a lot of moving parts. We've had 5 overseas across the competition. We're unfortunately missing Liam Dawson at the weekend due to England duty. We've hopefully got Bjorn and Chris Lynn, who have played little bits throughout the campaign. So there's a lot of moving parts, but I think it's the same for every team. I was saying earlier, I think Northants are probably the only team that have actually gained from the quarterfinal when they've got Bretsky coming back for finals day. Everyone else has lost players because overseas have gone home or unavailable. So it's going to be slightly different this year, maybe a slightly different make-up team that we normally have moving into the final after the group stages. But we've got a talented squad, and that's the reason you've got a squad of that size.
How hard is it to find consistency when you've got those moving parts, particularly with the loss of a player like Liam Dawson?
Yeah, it can be massive. I'll be honest, we sat there at Durham, well I did, before the game, and I was wondering how it was going to pan out. We hadn't been together as a side for about 6 weeks because of the 100. I thought very much would we feel our way in, as you might do, but the way the guys attacked that game, and I think that's ultimately the way you've got to approach it. It's a one-off game, and if you stand off, before you know it, you'll be out the competition. If you face it front on, who knows where it might take it.
At this stage in your career, what would it mean to you to add a 4th title rather than a 9th defeat?
Yeah, a lot. I said 3 years ago when we won it, you never know, this could be the last one. Now I'm stood here 3 years later, and we've got another chance to win it. So who knows how long this journey is going to go on for. But if you could offer me one more trophy right now, I'd snap your hand off.
Does that give you a different perspective in your career? Rather than the young buck trying to make his name in the game, you've been there, seen it, done it. How different is it now mentally, I guess, going into finals?
Yeah, it's huge. I think very much so in the early days, of course you want to win, but you slightly take it for granted because you've got this career hopefully ahead of you. But certainly when you're coming to the end like I am, sort of every day that you play, every game, every training day, every win becomes very more significant, as you know, this isn't going to go on forever anymore. So this day for me on Saturday is going to be super special.
Yeah, victory would really cherish that moment, I imagine.
100%.
And you've recently signed a new contract as well. How much was that, on the horizon for you, and how important is it to have that security?
Yeah, well, the club have been brilliant with me since the last 5 or 6 years. It's well documented that I've had a fair few knee surgeries now, and the fitness is probably going to be the thing that holds me back come the end of my career. And I've signed 1-year contracts now for the last 5 or 6 seasons, and Giles, director of cricket, sat me down at the end of the last group stage and just said, look, you're still performing as well as ever. Your fitness seems to be fine, so we're going to roll on for another year, and that's how it's only going to be moving forward. And if you said to me now you'll play for a couple more years, then I'll snap your hand off.
And that experience you've got, that must be a real kind of added advantage to the squad to lend them your experience.
Yeah, I think so. When I look back to 2010 and the club were in a slight transition and they very much went towards a group of senior players but mixed in with a load of young players, I think we're kind of back in that kind of mould at the minute. A few of the senior guys are moving on. There's still a few of us left, but there's a lot of young guys who are in my shoes when I was 20, 22, lifting those trophies originally. So I think that plays a big part now, trying to give back to the younger group and try and nurtured him in a way that I was by the likes of your Neil Mackenzie's, Jimmy Adams, Dimitri Mascarenhas, Dominic Chalk. It's the journey's gone unbelievably quickly, but unfortunately I am in that mould of that senior player now, and I do feel that is a duty to give back to the younger guys.
That's a key core part of the Hampshire family here, isn't it? And someone else moving on is AD Birrell, someone that obviously been your coach for a long time. Words on AD and his career.
What a man is all I can say, really. He come in 7 years ago and the club was not in a transition, but we were in a tough spot, certainly in Championship cricket. I think, although we haven't won the Championship, we've made massive strides. We might struggle in this year, but he's been at the forefront of that. I think he's brought a unique energy to this group, and his man management skills are as good as I've come across in my time at Hampshire.
And you'll be also enjoying them at the Sunrisers as well. How excited are you by that opportunity?
Yeah, incredibly excited. My journey hasn't quite gone down the franchise route that I'd like, for many reasons, but I've been fit and performing the last couple of years in the Blast and the 100, and a couple of these opportunities are coming to fruition now. So I guess better late than never, but I can't wait to get out to South Africa. I don't watch an awful lot of cricket anymore on the TV, but that is one competition that I've seen from afar and watched, and the whole spectacle with the crowd and whatnot looks absolutely amazing. So incredibly grateful for AD to put in his faith in me in that competition, and I can't wait to get out there.
And there'll be nothing better than to go over there with another trophy in your cabinet. How confident are you ahead of this weekend, and what are you expecting from the first semi-final to start with?
Yeah, I think Northants are a great side, and like I said, I think they're the only side that could potentially be stronger at finals day. So that's not going to be an easy game, as is any of the other two if we do happen to get into the final. But it's all about who turns up on the day, ultimately, these big days. You need your big players to stand up, match-winning performances, and then hopefully it all will be okay come Saturday evening.